Hey, what's up? I guess I'm not used to this kind of thing, but I just want to say there's a subscription you can do. You do that, there's extra content, all the whatever online sites or whatever trying to, dissect whatever. This is where we'll put some other stuff, extra stuff that I will give only to those people. So I appreciate it. If you do that, I promise you will not be disappointed. Hey, what's up?
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And in today's videos, as you have seen, we have James Franco talking about his previous video where he was fighting with an alien, and then the raw footage of the alien taking food from his house. And without further ado, let us see the comment section of both these videos. And in this video we have Wasi making out with the alien, and James says we were in a deep battle. Another one says he said this was real. Another one says extra stuff. Another one says can't deal with this. Too pregnant, James. And he says sorry, Ashley. Another one says it's too hot for this. I'm overstimulated. He says sorry. Another one says but why? And he says why not? Another comment says, how can you respond to my comment? It's like a dream to me. Hey, can you respond to my comments like a dream to me? And someone says, I'm here for you. Another comment says, what's going on? And James says, where do I start? Another says, bro, I cannot believe you low-key, even if it looks fake. I find something intriguing in this. Another one peeps at him and then he looks at them. Another one says, is this friendly? Another one says, I love you, James Franco. He says, heart, heart. Another one says, we love you and support you. And James Franco says, love you too. Another one says, subscribe to Word. Another one says, need you on the screen sometime soon, James. Another one says, James, I still don't know what's going on, but I believe your type of crazy. Keep going. Another says, James, it's your group. Says your group was suspended. Another says, maybe needs a friend. Another says, whatever it is, I can fix you. Another says, hi, daddy, I'm fifth. I know you're being truthful. Another says, stop, please. Another says, okay, dude. Another says, I'm in love with you. Another says, if it's your four buds and the dude in the alien suit helping to clean out your garage hoarding situation, I might be interested in subscribing. And she replies with that. Another says, I'm watching. Another one says, wish I could get it. Another one says, I really admire you, keep creating. And James Franco says, thank you, with the hands. Another says, are you sure that someone's mimeo peeking through my window? Another one says, hi James, I hope you're doing well. And he replies. Another one, I think today he took his time. He says, hey James. Cody says, hey James. And James says, hey Cody. So I think let me look for those comments where he was replying. Another one says, James, I'm scared. He says, me too. Another one says, hi James. And he says, hi back. Um, Let us look for another one where he replied. Another one gives a sticker and he opens his eyes wide. Says fast. Sorry, I don't know say he's fast and he likes. Ugh, guys, this comment section is wild. Alan says first and he likes it. I think today he had plenty of time to reply to most of these comments. Another one says, I got you, boo. Okay, let us go to his second video and see what we got over there. Someone says, when will this movie be released? And he says, you're in it. Another one says, the most ridiculous I've ever seen. And he says, what's ridiculous? It took my club sandwich. Another one says, not the food. And he says, that's what I'm saying. Another one says, how the heck is the group suspended? And he says, it will go back live tomorrow. Sorry, not sure what happened. Did he reply to anybody else? Let me see. Okay, I don't think he has replied to anybody else. He says, I wonder who's wearing the costume. And then says you're getting group maybe to get the later squirts. Guys, there are a lot of comments here. So if you're interested, you can go check them out on his TikTok page. People are going wild in the comment section. It is hilarious. But otherwise, thank you for always subscribing to my channel, liking and sharing my videos. Until the next video, love you guys. Bye bye.